Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. And how are you?
I am well. It's a crazy time. Lots of family stuff. My son's off to basic training, and that's different. Lots of family stuff that's kind of hard to imagine. But
you're entering a new phase.
Yeah, a new phase, but I'm real proud of my son and his family and how they're coping, and I'll put on my big girl panties and I'll be fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am really excited that we are up here in Sandpoint, and we're having fun. We're staying in hope, and
which is
we're
always
having a blast.
good.
I know. That's
the minute we
fun.
drive up here, we say we're going to be filled with hope and be in hope.
That's right.
Because we need a little, we need a reset because things have been a little rough.
That's right.
It's always fun. We come up here with Janie.
Yep.
Normally Kristen's here, but we'll see Kristen in Arizona.
Yes, we will.
And
we are headed
we're going to have a little
March
road trip. Allie and Callie on the road again.
On the road again.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to a couple of artists out there. And because actually a lot of people from this area, of course, Sunbird down in Arizona. So we want to highlight a few people that we think are up and coming or already doing really well. So that'll be fun.
And a really cool art school.
Yes.
That is dedicated to art. We're pretty excited
and
about
our
that.
timing is excellent because there's going to be a wine
Festival.
art festival right when we're there.
Right up our alley.
Which we're just so excited for. So
Exactly.
We're excited for all the things going on.
Well, we are here with a very exciting person. His name is Dario Ré, and he's the lead singer-songwriter of Heat Speak, a collaborative modular band blending indie rock, chamber folk, and world fusion. I'm obviously reading this because there's a lot of big words in his bio, and I didn't want to screw any of them up.
Yeah.
He's a visual artist and a private music instructor, and he holds a master's in art history and a bachelor's from Fairhaven College focused on visual culture and ethnobotany, which I had to look up because what is ethnobotany?
It's the study of plants and how people use them, more simply put.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, welcome.
Yes.
Well, welcome you as well.
Thank you for inviting us into your home. It's very cool.
It's very cool.
Maybe we can take a few pictures.
We'll take a few photos.
if that's
Yes,
all right.
absolutely.
But it's a very cool home, and we really appreciate you having us. But we're very excited to talk to you about your music, your style, and how you live, and how is your music going?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Music is pretty much what I think about all the time at this stage of my life. So the creative endeavors have varied all the way through, and they continue to vary. But for the last several years now, music is what I wake up thinking about. And I've got a variety of projects that are all kind of underway, and all of which I'm excited about and are doing really well. So I don't know where we want to start, but there's a lot to dig into.
Well, tell us about your band, Heat Speak.
Yeah, that's a great starting point. Well, and especially if those of you listening want to hear us, March 28th, we're going to be playing a show at Hamilton Studios.
Oh.
Yes, and we love Hamilton Studios.
Yeah, it's an amazing venue.
It's a great space.
Yeah, we played there for the first time in March last year. Sold out the room and had just the most intimate, beautiful experience with the crowd. And when we finished that show, I'm like, I'm going to do this every year until further notice, because what a treat to be able to be in an intimate space, and they have a big grand piano that's gorgeous. And
That's in Spokane, by the way. BTW. So I'm sure we'll put
I
a
just
link.
put it on my calendar.
There you go.
Perfect.
We'll put a nice link so everybody will know about it in advance.
Great.
So tell us about the band. What kind of music is that?
You know, it's all sort of in support of my songwriting, I would say. So that's sort of like the format of the band, is that I write tons of songs and I sort of funnel them in various directions. So I have a couple different projects that songs end up in, but songwriting is what I live for. And Heat Speak over time has kind of shifted its genre, if you will, or its style, and become a little bit more secure in my mind on like what songs fit in a Heat Speak context. And historically, how it sort of came to be was my sort of self-taught songwriting paired with Phil Pintor's violin playing. So he's classically trained and teaches and is very much just an exquisite musician. And when we first partnered up, it was this magical connection of like two different worlds of music coming together, and that really like got us inspired. And then ever since then, it's been sort of a collecting of musicians who fit that feel. It's way more like interpersonal than it is musical. So as we've had people come and go from the band, it's not like, okay, let's replace that instrument.
Right.
It's like we wait until the right person lands in the scene.
Oh, right. Okay.
And because of that, the band really shifts from show to show. So we do like a trio at a smaller venue, and then it'll be maybe me on piano and guitar and like a percussionist and a stand-up bass.
Right.
Or another venue, it'll be like me and a cello or like a backup singer. And so the song structures are the same, and there's like a continuity between all of our songs, but the arrangements vary dramatically.
Right.
And I really try to cater that to the space. So a show like Hamilton Studios, well, they're offering us a grand piano. So I'm going to lean into all of our piano songs and really like feature those. Versus if it's like, I don't know, Barter Fair, and we're playing a night show outside, I don't like playing keyboards, and so I'll lean into the acoustic guitar and create the set list around that. So it's really kind of venue specific. And then the band is also sort of collective around that too. And genre-wise, it really runs the gamut. I mean, that was the original question. I still, after all these years, don't know how to answer that. The songs come through, and the band responds to them and creates a whole nother world that I wouldn't have even imagined. And that can be everywhere from like a gypsy jazz kind of crunchy sort of sound, but acoustic instruments, all the way to like really ethereal, sort of spacious singer-songwriter. And also depending on the room. So if people are really invested in the journey and they want to just sink into the music, well, we're going to play them that more ethereal, travelable world. But if we're playing like a pub on a Saturday night, those songs are super inappropriate and are hard to sing in those settings.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's our like faster tempo stuff? And what can people kind of groove to?
Give them what they want. Yeah.
And I've just written enough songs over the years that I can kind of pull from both those spaces.
Yeah.
And you do all of original material, which I love. I absolutely love that. Because there's so many bands and musicians that feel like they have to rely on the covers in order to get the crowds or get the jobs. And I think it's really brave to go out there and just present your own.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, first of all, anyone who has a cello in their band, to me, is a hero. I am such a cello lover, and just anything stringed and just incorporating that, it just adds this element. It's classy and it's just beautiful, and it just adds so much texture. I mean, you can do so much with just piano, guitar, but adding that little extra element. And then I saw on your website that you have mando, cello, which, say it again?
Yeah, mandocello.
Mandocello, which I had to find out what that was. So it combines two instruments together, a mandolin and a cello, and that just fascinates me. I just think it's so cool that you pull together with these people that play different instruments, and that you just make that work, that they find their spot, and then you've created this really cool atmosphere that they can play these really cool instruments that not many people play. That I love that. So very cool.
Well, I'd like to hear a little bit about your background and how did you get here?
I guess I'll start pretty early. Pretty musical family, for sure. My dad's an active musician still today.
Oh, that's cool.
And performs, although has always been in the world of covers, and is one of those encyclopedia musicians who can just recall any song that you might want to hear and perform it in a very kind of jovial, entertaining way. So that's always been fascinating to me as I reflect on my journey, kind of like taking the opposite approach and don't have any covers in my repertoire and have taken a totally original direction, almost like to fill in the breadth of our family or something, you know? It's just an interesting reflection. And then piano was in my household too. My sister played a lot growing up, and that was my first little taste of music, was like emulating her. So she would leave the piano and I would sit down and just bang on it the same way that she would, and really like treated it like a rhythm instrument. Found myself attracted to rhythm and played drums for a long time. My first band was a punk band called Ecotone in Spokane, And we played together for maybe 4 years, 5 years, recorded an album and played punk shows, and I was the drummer. And so really deep, like, rhythmic foundation, and then wanted to learn how to sing. So never really played guitar. Thought I'd start with bass, but that quickly kind of led me to guitar as an accompaniment to my voice, and just got really attracted to songwriting. I was interested in creative writing, and so that kind of blended the two together. And I found myself just being most moved by the practice of, like, taking poetry and taking my tinkery instrument playing and having something come out of it. So that started to get a little more serious, I'd say, my first year of college. So moving away from Spokane, moving to Bellingham, and just kind of feeling like I had all these songs. Actually, I guess I didn't have that many when I moved there. I went to Europe for 2 months and brought a little travel guitar and wrote tons of music the whole time I was traveling. So it's not until I got back from that trip, I was like, wow, I have all these original songs. And to me, it felt really natural. But I started to realize in reflection of my community that that was, like, not a common thing to just pump out. So I started some open mics, loved the response of that original material being listened to, and kind of just kept going from there. Started having some kids of my own, which sort of slowed down the professional pursuit. I was just focused more on family life and but writing as, like, an outlet. And then at some point, I just had this huge repertoire of original material, and that was about the time I met Phil Pintor. And that was one of my first collaborations, really, outside of just like a jam session or something. When the sparks hit, and I was like, whoa, these songs in someone else's mind and ear completely transform and go to a whole new space that I've never imagined. I just got hooked on that, you know? So the collaborative part of music I fell in love with and started to learn the language. I was totally just self-taught at that point.
Oh, right.
But needed to, like, have some foundation just to communicate with other musicians.
Sure.
So went deep into, like, teaching myself music theory, and then that's where piano kind of came back into my life. It hadn't really been there for all those years, but it's such a linear instrument, so theory just makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
So I started diving back into piano, and that set another channel, and I just never really looked back.
And where did going to get your master's in, you got it in Quebec? Where did that come into the whole story?
That comes in more in my family life.
Oh, okay.
So I've always enjoyed academia, and, like, so my undergrad in Bellingham, I just was really fed by that experience, and totally changed me and taught me how to read, and there were so many things I learned in that experience I loved. And then right after that, I started having kids. And so in that, like, early stages of kind of trying to find my footing as a early 20s parent, didn't really know what I was doing, didn't really have much work. At that point, music was just a creative outlet. It wasn't professional. Like, academia is all I really knew. So I was in the process of immigrating. So the mom of my kids is French-Canadian. And so we were kind of, like, bouncing the borders always and deciding to, like, immigrate to both countries is how it ended up happening. And so when we decided to move to Quebec, I didn't speak French very well at that point. So, like, working was not going to be really easy. But I had my residency. And so I thought, well, I know school. I like school. And they're pretty generous in Canada in terms of, like, funding and such. So it was almost like a means to the end. It's like I saw the academic world as this place where I fit, and I understood. And I knew that they could pay me to live. So I treated it sort of like a job, and I knew that Montreal was such a creative city that I wanted to immerse myself in the arts. But I knew also that art in academia can be kind of stifling. So I did, like, so I thought, okay, I'm going to go just in the periphery of it and study art history, so I can become a better writer, learn how to write grants, but be involved in the art scene and have my, like, mind space filled with art. So it was more like a life choice. I wasn't like, oh, I want to go get a master's. It was like that was an opportunity for me to live in Montreal and support my family and still be immersed in art and learn how to write. And so it kind of checked all these boxes.
I love that, though.
Yeah. And how did you end up here?
So then living in Montreal as a life is difficult, like, as an immigrant. And that was something I didn't foresee. You know, all the privileges that come from speaking your native language. It's like I had so much more compassion for immigrants to the States these days, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, it is so hard to, like, recreate yourself in a second language.
Oh, yeah.
And then culture too, right? Like, I was just born and raised on the West Coast, and I just felt right. So it became pretty quick, especially after I graduated, like, whoa, I don't want to make my whole life over here. So Spokane was where all my family's from.
Oh, yeah.
So that was an obvious kind of return.
Yeah, sure.
Land there, that felt amazing and felt very aligned, but didn't for my partner. So that was sort of the start of our separation.
Oh,
It was like
right.
her needing to be back home and me needing to be back home. So that was sort of like where we separated. So that's created a whole new lifestyle where now I'm not a full-time parent. Art became the outlet for that for sure. Like all my extra energy got channeled into that. And so that's pretty much where I sort of see the professional side start to take off. Love Spokane, still like dear to my heart. Most of my band lives down there. I go down almost every week. Got really lucky to buy a house from my neighbor through like a carried loan, like just miracle to get into that market before it exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And, really liked my time there, loved our home. And at some point, we were doing a lot of urban gardening, me and my now partner, Jessica.
Need shirts, hats, signs, or stickers?
If you can dream it, Pyramid Printing can print it.
For over 25 years, Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for screen printing, embroidery, banners, and more.
Big job, small job, no problem. Just give Eric a call and let the local pros take it from there.
Email info@pyramidprintingcda.com or call 208-664-0254 or visit pyramidprintingcda.com.
Pyramid Printing, printing made easy and done right. Looking to bring big flavor to your next event? Scraps Barbecue has you covered. From golf tournaments and sporting events to corporate gatherings, weddings, and family celebrations, Scraps Barbecue delivers unforgettable food wherever you need it. Their commercial kitchen can be on site, or they'll bring a fully catered meal straight to you. Known for their authentic Santa Maria-style tri-tip and crowd-favorite tequila lime fish tacos, Scraps Barbecue can customize a menu for groups from 20 to 2,500. Book your next event now. Email Kevin at scrapsbbq.com or find Scraps Barbecue on Facebook. Scraps Barbecue. Real flavor, real fire, real good times.
So we were talking about Spokane, and you had started gardening and chickens and fruit trees, and then tell us more about that. So what is that called? It was on the website.
Botany.
Yeah, the botany.
Well, you're
And
probably
the
thinking
permaculture.
Yeah,
yes,
there
so
you go.
permaculture. That was a newer term to me at the time as well, and that started to really fill my headspace as a beautiful philosophy.
Yeah.
Mind you, we were in a historic district, so there was some tension around our lifestyle choices in the neighborhood. Unfortunately, because I think growing your own food and it shouldn't be, there shouldn't be tension. That should be honored.
It should be a natural, exactly.
Supported, but I guess you can't have chickens in the city limits, or
you can, but in a historic district, there was a little bit of tension.
Yeah,
sure.
So we started to just imagine what it would be like to have land, and dreamt about, just an empty plot that we'd maybe build on one day, and started to look around. My partner Jessica had a house that she was willing to sell and invest some of that. We were living together at the time, and we didn't really find anything around Spokane we loved. And meanwhile, years leading up to this moment, we'd been coming to Sandpoint more and more frequently and falling in love with the community. Just so many of our closest friends were based here, and the land is so beautiful, and it's moist, and there's a lot of diversity in the forest, and there were so many things about this space we loved. And it was just one night, we were like, what if we looked at property in Sandpoint? It's only an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Right.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Why not?
And we literally found the house that we're in right now on that day, and we're already going camping that coming weekend. So we're like, let's just visit this property. And at the time, it was way out of our budget, and would have required us selling all of our, both of our homes in full commit, which was not even on the table until that night.
Right.
Amazing when you find that right space. All of a sudden, the parameters change.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it all.
Yep.
I'm selling my firstborn. I'm going to have this house. Yeah.
And it became that clear. We visited here on the way to the camp out, and we stepped foot on the land, and I immediately knew we were going to live here.
Yeah.
I had no idea how it was going to happen. Totally seemed unfeasible.
Yeah.
I just knew it. It was just everything was zink. Here you are. And after the camp out, I just started trying to figure it out. And it was a total maze to get here. But we decided to sell both of our homes, put all the equity into this land, move up here off grid.
Yeah.
It was totally a choice we had never even considered until this exact space. But the land just called us in, and it was crystal clear.
Yeah.
So it's we'll learn what it takes to live up here.
Yeah.
And that learning curve is where I'm still at today. We've been here 4 years now, fully off-grid, and have, expanded our permaculture design strategy now that we have 10 acres to play with. And yeah, it's like every single day I wake up here and just go like, I cannot believe this is where I get to live.
Yeah.
It's like such a gift. And Jessica, my partner, has equal amounts of gratitude. And it's just really allowed us to connect in a way that we couldn't in Spokane quite the same way because she moved into my home.
Right.
I don't know if you had that experience with a partner, but
Oh,
it's like,
sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there's a dynamic there
Yes.
versus like starting a project
Together.
as a union.
Yeah.
So that's been really great just for our relationship. And
It's such a creative space.
And we will take photos and put them on our Facebook page. So be sure to check that out.
Just driving up. I mean, the drive, I was a little like, whoa, where are we going? A little bit like the winding road, the long and winding road. But then you get up here, and then you've got beautiful water, you've got beautiful trees, and then you've got, a couple buildings, and it's what I loved. It's so quiet. You don't hear anything except nature, and that to me brings peace and probably creative juices. I would think. I would imagine
opens the space up to allow for that.
it's just great.
I would imagine.
And then this space is very
Welcoming?
inviting. Hello. But anyway, it's a lovely place, and you're lucky.
Oh,
it
it
is really great. And the tea's
you.
good too.
And the tea is good. In my Gina Freyen cup.
yeah, it's really nice to have you all here.
Yeah.
It's fun to share the space with people.
Well, we're honored to be here.
Yeah. So where would you like to be? Do you just want to keep performing as a musician? What do you feel like is the ultimate, or are you living it?
I'm living it, I would say. Yeah, there's not really a goal. I definitely, when I was younger, I was more goal driven, and now I really see that sort of like sustainable lifestyle and like my creative output being really authentic to how I want to express and not trying to limit that. And a lot of times in the pursuit of like success in quotes or whatever that might mean to the average person in our culture, you end up sort of sacrificing a lot. And there's a big part of me that is learning to accept that what really brings me joy is that authentic creative output. And so allowing that to breathe and change. And so in terms of like short-term goals, I'm in the midst of teaching myself a lot of new equipment to perform electronic music, which is a whole nother realm that I've never tapped into until the last couple of years. So that has come to fruition as a project called Mačka Moon with a collaborator, Adrian Caprice, who's a beautiful, kind of soulful singer. So we've paired up with the intention to make dance music, and over time it has shifted to be a little bit more genre bending than that, but is based in a lot of electronic sounds, a lot of synthesizers and drum machines.
Oh, wow.
And so that's like taking up a lot of my creative space, where like the Heat Speak show that's coming up, it doesn't have that creative energy behind it, right? It's more like the communal energy and the arranging. So it's like a whole nother part of my being. It's not the actual like make something from nothing feeling. That right now is coming from a lot of my electronic music.
If I thought you would fall back down. If I thought you would fall back down. If I thought you would fall back down.
And so it's just allowing that to be what it is, and not feeling like, oh, I've let Heat Speak down and I'm not as focused as I once was on that project. It's letting that be what it is and let it breathe, but follow my instinct when a new creative output, calls my attention. And over the years, that has included visual art and land management and various things. And so I'm just allowing that to be what it is and trying to make the nuts and bolts of it all work.
Well, tell me a little bit about your visual art.
That's been a thread of my life all the way through. That historically has been pretty heady. I would say. Like my approach to visual art is fairly conceptual. And so that has allowed me to experiment with different medium, whether that be like video or painting. Kind of traditionally when I was in college, I did a lot of painting. So that's always sort of been a potential that I can tap into. And in recent years, I've used that medium more as a conceptual outlet. I've experimented with relief printing. So that one is just a little more hands-on. Musical can be a little more ethereal, and I do like getting my hands on something. So when I get that calling, visual art is a great spot for it. I do have a show coming up in Spokane, first Friday of June.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
That'll be at Entropy Gallery. So that's a really cool space and kind of a unique art showing environment. Like it's rounded walls, it's sort of a spiral.
Oh, fun.
So it creates it invites a really different kind of installation.
Where is that gallery located? I'm not familiar with that one.
It's on Howard.
Oh, okay.
Right there by the train trestle.
Yeah.
Kind of near the parkade.
Okay.
Yep. They have like a little record shop downstairs with like some boutiques. And then the staircase is this like big spiral white gallery.
Oh, wow. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'll be a really good show. And I'm planning on having a musical event for the opening as well.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be first Friday of June.
I'm going to put that on my calendar as
There you
well.
go. And what kind of art will that be? More paintings or more?
That's going to be a very conceptual show.
Okay.
So it's including a lot of found art. So there's a lot of kind of what one person would be trash framed and presented in a way that suits my aesthetic. So it's a practice I've done kind of throughout my whole creative life, where it's like I find a piece of trash that has a certain vibration. And oftentimes it's in like really inopportune moments. So I'll be like on my bike and there'll be like a big piece of sheet metal. And it's like when I get that frequency feeling, I know it's like asking me to commit a certain amount of my energy. And so I've collected a variety of items over the years, traveling locally, and I've shown them sort of one-offs in other shows before, but I've never put them together as a whole collection. So I've got a handful of new ones that I've never completed, but they're ones I've gone through the effort of collecting. And then some of the ones I've shown periodically in different shows over the years. I'm kind of combining the whole exhibition and showing all that found art together.
Cool.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I got to admit that I am a little, I don't want to say jealous, envious of your whole environment. This was my dream when I moved from Virginia to Idaho to go back to the land. That was my goal. And I just wanted to live sustainably. And I still practice a lot of that. I mean, I like to grow everything myself and I like to make everything myself if I can. But I did raise children and got accustomed to the easy life a little bit.
You do a pretty good job, though.
I try. But I love this. I mean, I even dreamt about your house last night.
Yeah. I saw it online and I go, oh my God, she's going to move in. Careful.
Only you had a steam room. And there was an extra bathrobe that I could wear to go in.
Yeah. This is Allie's life.
I know. So clearly, this whole thing
It
has
resonates with Allie.
an impression on me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
I know. I love
It's
it.
very cool. And I think it's very peaceful. What a creative space. We always end our episodes with make sure your day's creative. Or
Right.
whatever you do today, make sure it's creative. And this is such a creative space. You can
Right.
feel it.
I know. You
And
can.
you can see it. It's everywhere. Like
Yeah.
the lanterns, the wood, and the nature, and it's gotta feel good. Mm-hmm. It feels good to be here. So
It does.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
appreciate. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We already kind of talked about where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any like dreams about something new that you want to try?
Dreams. Well, I'm getting a taste of a dream right now that I'm excited to lean further into. It's a piggyback on the electronic project, Mačka Moon. I decided to pursue a label collaboration for the first time. So I've been like completely DIY with HeatSpeak and my own production. Like I produce things under Dario Ré that are more kind of experimental. So that's another outlet for me musically. And I've just been completely DIY up to this point, experimenting with patronage as a support model. So asking people to subscribe for a donation-based monthly amount just to support my practice. And now those are people who I hope would trust in that authenticity that I'm chasing, and
Right.
always following. So that's like a format that I've really enjoyed and feels, sort of outside of the system in a lot of ways. And I like how that feels. But there's aspects of the business that are really hard for me and take up a lot of time. So promotion is an obvious one. Like, that's not a comfortable space for me.
We can relate
It's
to
the
that.
business of art is hard.
Yeah, there's some of the technical things, like, you're doing editing of podcasts, so you probably can attest to this, but like the mastering process, right? So getting audio to be at a level of cleanliness, if you will, that can sit amongst all the other music in the world. That's an entire technical world that I've dabbled in just to be able to self-release, but it's really fairly unpleasant and pulls a lot of energy from what could otherwise be creative output. And so with sort of the opportunity, a new project, the opportunity arose, like, maybe I should kind of pitch this before it's released into the label world and see if I can get a collaboration and maybe outsource some of that work, which is like the standard sort of professional approach that I just haven't really had the opportunity to pursue yet.
Yeah.
So that has landed. I'm partnered with Oblong Square Records, which is a pretty small boutique label focused on electronic music. We have released our first single in early February, Lifecall. And so that's like our first song, but they've agreed to help us release the entire album. And they've already, in this short period of collaboration, have taken on the mastering. And I got to kind of A/B my masters versus their engineers. And it's like higher quality, plus I'm not doing it. So that's been amazing. And they're helping with promo, and they have some more connections.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in terms of the dream, I'm now seeing the result of that and realizing that all these years, I treat my music like a business. I have LLCs, and I try to make money at it, and I pay my collaborators. And I still do a lot of other work for money, right? Whether it's tree work, or right now I'm working at the ski mountain. I teach music. I rent the cabin, so it's like I hustle. And part of that is so the weight of finances don't land entirely on my creative output, because I've tested that and it's not pleasant.
Right.
Nope, it's not.
Plus, it can dampen your creative spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm realizing, why is it taking me this long to outsource some of that? Because the trade-off is some of the profit. So that's like the one trade-off. Everything else is a benefit.
Right.
But if this is not my entire financial security, and it can just help facilitate the creativity, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
So as a dream, I'm now thinking I would love to have all my creative output paired with collaborative businesses. So people who are business-minded, who have connections to help support me in that with whatever exchange is fair. So I would love for that to extend to Heat Speak, to Dario Ré, to Mačka Moon, and have a couple different collaborators that help me with that outsourcing of business.
It helps with the balance.
Yeah.
I think that's really smart. And ultimately, you may pay out a little bit, but it is going to benefit you so much more in the long run. By even just, maybe not monetarily, but just by getting your name out there and getting a little more exposure to your work is, that's pretty valuable. That's what we're all, I think that's what we're all reaching for.
And I think when somebody says, well, why don't you just do it full time? I said, if I do it full time, then it's a job.
Right.
And if it's a job, then I won't like it.
Yeah.
I like to do it when I want to do it, and then when I feel like doing it.
Right.
And if I do it all the time, then it's really...
Then it feels like work.
Then it's work. And so I've always been on the line of no, I'm good. I like the way I'm doing it. So leave me alone.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you for your advice, but no. So I think it's good, but it's also good to ask and to start, as my husband always says, if you don't ASK, you don't GET. Boom, boom.
Yep.
Anyway.
Spelling bee. He's a spelling bee guy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's good, though. I think it's great. You get your work out there, you get help, and you also learn more along the way. We've learned so much in 5 years about podcasting, and Allie
We didn't even know what a podcast was when we started.
We heard of them, but we didn't quite get it,
Right.
And then Allie's learned so much about all these programming and just, so many things. She's a little tech wizard. She does it all. I'm the Ed McMahon. She's Johnny Carson. That's all. But it's great that you can ask for help. And I think that's a great idea, though. And now you have a recording, and we're going to listen to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's great advice for other up-and-coming artists to know that that is an option, and it's a credible option.
Yeah.
Because I think you're right. You want to do it all yourself, but sometimes it works better to ask for help because there are experts in that field, and then you're not focused on I want to call it drudgery. I know it's not drudgery.
It's maybe
the
less creative part.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's people who are specializing in that, who enjoy marketing, who that's their
Exactly.
calling, It's
Exactly.
Some
let's
people
just
are really
pair
good
up.
at that and good at the
Right.
numbers and
Yeah.
good at all
Yeah.
that stuff and love it.
Right. I love people that are good
Janie.
at numbers.
Our friend Janie, who's good at the
Right.
numbers. Yeah, where we're like,
And I think for a lot of emerging artists, it might feel like it's inaccessible because it kind of is. It is a bit of a gatekeeper-y world. And so if there's anyone listening who's like, I wouldn't mind finding a collaboration like that, just know that for me, that the result of that was probably 40 plus cold call, a spreadsheet, researching the labels that would be appropriate,
sure.
pitching myself. It's very uncomfortable work that has like massive amounts of rejection embedded into it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's for some people it might be easier than that. I'm not sure, but I knew from my approach, like that's what I needed to do. And so it was just making that choice and really committing the energy, with the hope of an outcome. Reminds me of like grant writing or something. It's like you put all this energy in the back end,
Sure.
with no promise.
Yeah.
You just got to have hope, but you do the work anyway. And so in this case, it's paid off, and it's just a stepping stone in my mind. It's like, oh, I've finally gotten in the door.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that gives me a bit more legitimacy in that gatekeepery world, which is not my favorite vibe.
Right.
Right.
And I think there's a big benefit to it. So I'm going to see it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's awesome.
Good. Well, I'll tell you, being here has been an incredible treat, and we really appreciate.
We have more hope and hope.
We have more hope and hope.
I'm going to get T-shirts made. We're going to wear hats,
So I'm
canvas
at the gift
bags.
shop.
I know. We're going to market the hell out of this. There's hope and hope.
There is hope.
Oh,
and
it's
hope.
awesome. No,
And
very
it's-
cool.
I'm so constantly amazed and inspired by how many people we meet every day who are creative. Everybody is creative. I
Yeah.
believe everybody is creative in some
Absolutely.
way.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to bring that creativity to
Yeah.
our little part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good to meet you and talk with you and just, you are an inspiration.
You are, yeah.
It's great to hear, new kinds of music and, hopefully we can go hear you play.
Absolutely. You got
the
like
dates.
I said, I got you on my calendar already.
All right. we'll get there. Go to Hamilton Studio.
Hamilton on March 28th.
March 28th. I'll be here.
Yay, me too.
Yeah, we can go.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go.
Me
All
for.
righty.
And me for it. Well, you'll be there. That's right.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Look, we can say we know him. We know the band.
Well, thank you again.
Yes.
You're very
For
welcome,
this.
and thank
Yeah.
you for making the trip up here. and
Absolutely.
You bet.
Thanks,
having
Dario.
all the beautiful things to say about our space. That's
Yeah,
that's really
absolutely.
kind. And we love to open it up to new folks. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have you here as well.
Well,
So I'm Allie.
and I'm Callie, and whatever you do today, make sure it's creative. The Allie and Callie Artcast is sponsored in part by Scraps Barbecue, a locally owned catering company, the Chalkboard Agency, getting back to the basics of shared learning and human connection, and Pyramid Printing, a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.